Kyle has $21.90 in quarters and dimes. If he has a total of 117 coins, how many of each kind does he have? To solve this problem, we'll need to make two equations. Our first equation will represent the total number of coins. The second equation will represent the total value of the coins. Let's represent Q, or the quarters, with Q and the dimes with D. And when we add the quarters and the dimes, we get a total of 117 coins. I'm going to write down 0.25 Q because a quarter has 25 cents plus 0.10 D because a dime has 10 cents. And the value of the coins is going to be equal to $21.90. Notice if you rearrange, or you can rearrange the first equation to get the value of Q or D. Let's get the value of Q. To get the value of Q, we'll need to move positive D onto the other side of the equation by subtracting D. And minus D plus D cancel out. And whatever we do on one side of the equation, we have to do on the other. So here I'm just subtracting D from the other side. And so the first equation will be rewritten as Q is equal to 117 minus D. Now let's go ahead and plug this value of Q in the second equation. So let's rewrite the second equation. 0.25 in parentheses, we're going to write 117 minus D. We're going to add 0.10 D, which is equal to $21.90. Okay, now we have to solve. 0.25 times 117 is equal to 29.25. 29.25. Okay. And now that we've multiplied these two, now let's multiply 0.25 and negative D, which will give us negative 0.25 D plus 0.10 D, which is equal to 21.90. Okay, now we have to add or subtract like terms. As you can see, negative 0.25D and positive 0.10D are like terms, and positive 21.90 and 29.25 are like terms. So we're going to add negative 0.25D and positive 0.10D, which will give us negative 0.15D. To solve this equation, we'll have to bring positive 29.25 onto the other side of the equation by subtracting it. If we subtract 29.25 from this side of the equation, then we'll have to do it on the other. So these two cancel out from this side, and we only have negative 0.15d left here. And that is equal to 21.90 minus 29.25, which is equal to negative 7.35. Okay, our last step to getting the value of d is to divide 0.15 on both sides of the equation. Okay, and so these two will cancel over here, and we'll only have d left. And that is equal to negative 7.35 divided by negative 0.15. Which is equal to positive 49. Since d is equal to dimes, there are 49 dimes. Now we have to figure out the number of quarters he has. Now remember the equation we made at first, and that equation was q is equal to 117 minus d. All we do is plug in 49 for d. So we have q is equal to 117 minus 49. Okay, 117 minus 49 is equal to 68. Which means that there are 49 dimes and 68 quarters.